So, so sieht Deutschland aus. So marschieren sie dort, so beißen sie, so plündern sie.
Urgent, Rio de Janeiro. 3 young fascists destroy the painting Namoro Sentimental by the German artist Wilhelm Wöller during the exhibition Art Condemned by the Third Reich at Galleria Askenazi on Rua Senador Dantas in the city centre. Other artists considered degenerate also had works in the show.
Months earlier, the owners of Galleria Askenazi had written to Lazar Segal, another refugee artist, speaking of sinister forces, fascists, violently persecute art and the spirit. It was difficult to imagine that Wilhelm Wöller would one day be persecuted so far from his homeland. He was born in 1907 in the small town of Gummersbach near Cologne. Right from an early age he loved drawing. He grew up after World War I in a Germany which was a paradise for avant-garde movements like Expressionism, Dadaism, Surrealism. He studied at the Arts and Crafts School in Bielefeld, which brought together artists from all over Germany. Later he went to study further at the Fine Arts Academies of Berlin and Dresden. There he met his first wife, Rosa Marie. Holidays on the Baltic Sea inspired his art. Light, colourful, joyful. In 1931 his daughter Christa was born, and in 1932 his son Friedemann. The following year Hitler came to power in Germany. He labelled modern art as degenerate and sick. In 1936, Wöller is personally affected by this violence. The Gestapo closes down an exhibition at the Ferdinand Möller Gallery with 14 of his watercolours 20 minutes after its opening. He can no longer make a living painting. Like so many artists, Wöller tries to flee. He succeeds in escaping to Brazil in 1938. The abundance, colours and forms of the new country fascinate him. In order to make a living, he works as art director for film companies. With his wife Goethe, he spends time in the mountains of Teresopolis, where he meets another refugee, the German writer Richard Katz. In his book, Encounters in Rio, Katz recalls the conversations between them about the pain of being so far from home and the suffering caused by the destruction of war. The writer was so impressed by Wöller that he included him in his novel. He is the character Lenzt. The attack on Galleria Askenazi left Wöller very shaken. He would only return to painting after a trip to the Amazon. The impact of the exuberant jungle, animals and flora left its mark on his paintings. In 1948, the Ministry of Education and Culture sponsored another exhibition in Rio with 44 gouache. But Wöller decides to change country again. He goes to the United States and manages to get a job at CBS as set designer. he meets his third wife, Dorothy. In the United States, he goes through a mystic phase and paints several crucifixions. In 1954, he returns for the first time to Germany, still in ruins. On 10th of December that year, he dies of a heart attack in New York, aged only 47. The New York Times paid tribute to this great artist, who remained unknown to the wider public due to the injustices of history. Wilhelm Wöller is buried at Long Island Cemetery. His last wife organized a posthumous exhibition for him at Greer Gallery in New York. The Brazilian collector Felipe Junqueira bought almost all of his works in 1978. He organized an exhibition at the São Paulo Museum of Art and published a catalogue.